Hi, everybody. Blessings. Hope everybody's well. Hope you had a good new moon. I was going to do a reading and I didn't. I'm sorry. I know I probably said I was going to do it and I just didn't have time, But I'm here today and I love you guys, and I wanted to do a quick read because I was getting some information from Spirit yesterday regarding the Karmics and the bullshit. So, with all the retrogrades and everything, I'm sure a lot of you guys have had stuff happen because a few of my clients have gotten to me and said, oh my god, these retrogrades, but the retrogrades aren't necessarily bad. For some people, it's really working out in their favor. Giving everybody a chance to revisit some old situations and wondering if this is possibly something they should revisit, to heal, to do over, to try again. I'm not just talking about, relationships, but everything. Maybe work too. Okay. Let's just get to it, because one of the things my spirit guide was really keen on talking about was the fact that she wanted to make it clear that everybody is highly protected, but that the Karmics or the Darks, I don't even know what to call them anymore at this point. I guess Karmics. I don't know. She just was like, I think they need to know what their game plan is. It's not like intuitively you guys don't know, but if you feel like you're getting hit, I don't feel it, because I won't allow that to enter. And that's the first step you can do. Just not even allowing those negative thoughts to enter, shutting it down before it even has a chance to enter, that kind of a thing. But if it's like physical people that are doing things, if you have like a group of people or people that are against what you're doing, or just anybody that's trying to keep you off your path or from doing what it is that you're meant to do, or trying to block the road that you're trying to open. So I got a few tips from my spirit guide that was like, just tell them that all they need to do are a few things to ensure their safety. And they're watching too. I'm sure the Karmics are watching my page just to get a heads up. Fine, who gives a shit? It doesn't matter. I really don't care. Just it's good that they know that we know that they know, or that we know what they're doing, kind of a thing. So we're just gonna review that real quick, and then we'll talk about the other stuff. Because we're at the tail end of the summer, and I kind of feel like once summer is over, it's over, And then fall brings this whole beautiful, great new energy where, I feel like things are slowly moving in my light's favor right now. I feel like you guys are just doing the work, you're doing what you have to do, you're pressing forward, you're moving forward, everything is manifesting on time or the way it should be, and if it hasn't manifested yet, it definitely will be by fall or by the new year. So that's what I always keep getting. It's the same thing. All right. Tell me first, Spirit. What do I need to know about the Karmics and what it is they do and what they're trying to do? We've already covered what they've been trying to do, which is the lying about your character, trying to portray you as the evildoer, trying to portray you as a person who is not spiritual or against God, or just like a heathen. Especially if you're a practicing witch like me, they're gonna paint you in this dark light. She's a Satan worshiper. They're gonna say you're a Satan worshiper, or you're doing everything dark. And that's just ignorance, obviously. If someone's gonna believe them, then more power. Go be with that person then. You go believe with that person that's spreading the lies. So they're still doing that, and they're even saying that the work you do is of the devil, or that it's not really real, or you're the one wearing the mask. So basically everything they're saying about you is really who they are, and so they're trying to deflect that, put it on you so that people will judge you or believe that you're this person. But the jig is up, and it's been up, and it's even more up now, because they're still trying to do the same thing, but there's no proof of this. The proof is not there. They're trying to find proof, and so that's why you may get these, I have one friend, because we were talking about this too, who felt like, she's like, I don't know what it is, but I feel like someone's spying on me. I feel like they're stalking me. I was like, well, they are, probably. I was like, it's just the energy. I was like, the darks are out there stalking, and they're watching, and they're waiting. They're waiting for that time to strike when they feel like you're probably at your weakest, or that they can get you. And it's like that kind of vibe of, you know, I want to destroy this person. And they don't even have any real reason or real reasoning behind it. They're psychos. It all comes from jealousy. It all comes from envy, jealousy, spite. Yeah, they're I mean, okay. So, like my spirit guide's saying, you know, it's just low self-esteem. It's low self-esteem. It's jealousy. It's spitefulness. They hate everything about the lights. They hate everything the lights are trying to do, cultivate as their own. They hate that the lights are more successful. In their mind, they're like, I don't understand how they're more successful. I don't understand what they have that I don't have. So it's like this coveting, hateful, obsessive, useless energy. They're wasting their energy on watching my lights rather than working on their own light. And so they stay muddled in the dark. And so there's the spell work, you know. So that's one of the things my spirit guide said. They're like, you know, Carolyn, make sure you tell them that every moon phase, almost every moon phase, they're doing a working against my light or my lights. They're doing a working against you guys. And this includes me, you know. They're doing a, like on the new moon they did something, and I can feel it when they're trying to do stuff. I'm like, oh God, man. They're really hell-bent on destroying, hell-bent on doing, I'm moving this closer, doing anything to keep my lights from spreading more light, I guess. They hate us. And it's sad, really. It's just a very sorry occupation when you're that jealous. And now the funny thing is the people around them are starting to see their obsessiveness about my lights. They're starting to see, why are you always on that page? Why are you always looking at that picture? What is it? Why do you have this on your altar? Isn't, you know, why are you hell-bent on destroying this person? They're not doing anything to you. It's just that kind of energy. And they're starting to look like psycho. They're starting to look like they're obsessed. And their person or their counterpart or whoever's around them, their friends that they tried to rally against my lights, are starting to realize, they're like, this person's psychotic. They're really hell-bent on destroying this light, and they're super jealous, and they're envious, and they have no reason behind these feelings other than they don't have what my light has. That's pretty much it. Whether it's, and the funny thing is, what you guys have is not something that, it's not financial. It's more like I feel like it's more like they're free. You're free, and you're creative, and you run your own business, and you make your own money, and you're not bogged down or tied down by anything specifically. Like, you're not chained by anyone or anything, and so you're free to do what you like. And they don't like that. They don't like that you're free. They don't like that you're able to do whatever you like. They don't like that you don't have someone, you're not under someone's thumb, you know. I want to talk about the feminine dark, and then I want to talk about the masculine dark, whatever those energies are, because they just brought that up. And I'm not talking dark feminine in a good way, because there's two kinds. Okay, the dark, well, you know, it depends. So, like, if you're a light who practices the balance of power, which is something I do, you revere the dark feminine and the light feminine. But this is, when I say dark feminine in this respect, with this karmic, that's why we should call them karmics, because dark associated with them isn't exactly the appropriate word. We could call them dark karmic. That would be better, I think. But so this is somebody who, okay. All right, just spill the tea, spirit. I'm ready. Oh, God. Hold on, guys. Thank you. Also, I may take you up on that. Okay. Let's talk about this dark karmic. Why they're doing what they're doing towards the lights. What is their issue or their problem? What is their plan? How is their plan going? And do they feel it's working? I'm going to need a sucker for that. Hold on. Okay, so they're showing me an image of a dark karmic looking at herself in the mirror. So she might be doing mirror spells or mirror work or vanity or something about looks or something about doing portal magic or trying to connect with the divine feminine's energy. Okay? Of course, not being able to do that. But then as she's looking at her reflection, I see her like touching, like she's like touching her stomach, or like going like this with her body, like her hips, and like touching her body. And it could either be one of two things. Spirit's giving me this feeling like it's funny that she keeps touching the solar plexus. Like the solar plexus is here, and then the sacral is here. So she's touching mainly the sacral and the solar plexus. And the solar plexus has to do with like free will or will, destiny, and the sacral has to do with like sexuality, creativity, that kind of force. So obviously these are the two things that she's struggling with, this dark karmic. And she's looking at herself with disdain, though. So it's almost like, I want to transform how I look. I want to transform my body. I want to transform my features. She looks like a big woman. It's weird, but she doesn't. I don't know. I think she looks a little slovenly, is what the Spirit's showing me. It's not to say that this is who this person is. I don't know who this person is. It's just what Spirit is showing me regarding one entity. Or like taking it as a whole and putting it in this one image. So I do see someone who is probably doing mirror magic or wanting to look like the divine feminine and trying to steal the divine feminine's looks or beauty. But the problem is like you can't do that because it radiates from the inside out. It's not something that you can, they could be doing magic spells like about like making my divines get pimples or something, or messing with their health in general, like their hair falling out, or like stupid shit like that, like anti-beauty spells, or wanting to covet the beauty and switching it and or mimic their beauty in some way. I almost heard like my spirit guides, no, what they're doing is when they do the spell, they're doing it where it reverses the beauty of the light or the divine feminine, and so the essence of that beauty enters them instead. It enters their vessel. And so that's why the mirror. And I also see pictures of somebody taped to this mirror. You know what it reminds me of? I love that movie too. Skeleton Key. Remember how they take, you take their body or whatever. Hold on, give me a minute. It basically, they switch their lives. Like, so they switch their essence from one body to the next, only because she wants to have a younger body and she wants to live more life. So it's like, having that ability to live forever by doing this spell that makes them switch. And then, the young girl is in the old body now and she has the new body. The old one has the new body. So that's what they're showing me. And they're saying, yeah, it's like the skeleton key. So they're trying to steal my divine feminine's essence and trying to basically steal their life, their essence, their life essence, their looks, their body, their mind, their spirit. But the thing is, you can't, even in that situation, you're still going to have the same mind, you're still going to have the same heart, and you're still going to have that, soul. It's a soul. It's your essence. So your essence isn't going to be the same as, even if you had this new body, say, you're still going to be what you are, this dark energy, this dark, karmic in this supposedly new body, which is, the spell's not going to work, obviously. What's going to happen is the mirror is going to reflect the darkness right back. And so now everything they wished upon the divine feminine is going to come back at them. And I said this in the last reading. I said, why do they keep doing these spells? Do they not understand? It's not going to work. It's not going to work. Because now all they're doing is reflecting it back on them. And so now they're losing their looks even more, whatever looks they did have. They're losing their health. Their hair is falling out. Anything they wished on the divine feminine is happening to them. And the divine feminine, everything good's happening to them. Literally, okay, I had one friend, she's like, it's so crazy. She's like, I don't really need to lose weight, but I find it interesting. She's like, I kind of shed off an extra 5 pounds. She's like, I didn't really care. It was only 5 pounds. She's like, but I just noticed one day I was just really into wanting eating vegetables and drinking lots of water. And I was like, oh, you know why? I was like, because the dark karmic is trying to steal your beauty and your essence, and it backfired, and now it's working in your favor. And she's like, yeah, it's not even that. She's like, also my creativity is zooming. And I was like, God, me too. I'm like, it's all working in our favor. So we're almost like, keep it coming, dark karmics. You want to try? Good, please do it. But it's really a waste of energy for them. Even if they hired somebody else to do it, it's not working. Remember what I said, when you're a divine feminine, your vibration's super high, so they can't really touch you. And when they do try to touch you, I mean, you're so protected from on high that they just can't. And they get instant karma for it. Instant retribution, instant karma, instant throwback, you know? So anything they try to do and throw your way is just not going to happen. But let's keep talking about what they're doing, because I think it's funny. Okay, so we talked about the looks. So they brought up the mirror, but then I'm hearing like every phase of the moon they're doing something. And they're doing it to work in their favor, but what they're not realizing is everything they're doing is not going to work in their favor. It's going to hit them back threefold. They're trying to mess with your business. They're trying to mess with your kids. They're trying to mess with your money. They're trying to mess with your family. They're trying to mess with your home. They're trying to mess with your looks, your health. Just pretty much everything. Everything that basically defines a human being. So, now, all these things that they're trying to do, and because they're trying to do this, is going to happen to them now. And then they're going to be like, why is this happening? They're recognizing something happening, and it's bothering them. Because now they're realizing, fuck, I screwed up. Sorry. So they're realizing, oh my God, I really screwed up. Now it's all coming back. It's coming back times 3. And because I had hate in my heart and disdain in my heart for this person, because I want to covet them and I want to steal everything from them because I don't feel like they deserve it, they have no right to judge you. They don't even know your damn story. They have no rights. And so the God and Goddess are coming in. They're like, you have no right to judge my child. Who are you? You're my child too, but I'm telling you right now, it's like God's reprimanding them and saying, you know what? We're done with this. You got to let this go. You're getting crazy. You're getting upset. They're obsessed. They're crazy. Even to the point where they might want to take a hit out on my divine feminine. They might want to do that. I mean, that's scary, right? But like I said, I feel like you guys are protected. If they do that, I'm telling you right now, they're going to get caught. They're going to go to jail. So everything that this person, and this divine feminine is where I'm going to talk about this dark karmic. She's probably the main player. You know what I mean? And then I'm going to talk about the dark, the male aspect. But I don't even feel they're as dark. I feel like they're trying to shift and change. And this dark feminine is not letting them. This dark karmic is refusing. And they're almost saying, you know, you're in it now. You can't back out now. You know, you're wrapped up in this now. You're wrapped up. And I'll tell her everything you've ever said about her. Or I'll tell him, divine feminine, divine masculine, I'll tell them everything you ever said. How you were in on this whole plan with me. If I'm going down, you're coming down with me. That's how evil this dark karmic is. They're not going to tolerate, because the ego is overriding logic. And the darkness is overriding their sense of understanding or seeing what they're doing. And in their mind, they're like, well, I've gone this far. I can't stop now. So they don't want to stop. In their mind, if they stop, then all of it's going to come back anyway. Then I might as well just finish the job. But the thing they don't realize is if they try and do that, they're going to finish themselves. And slowly they're getting sicker. And slowly their looks are deteriorating. And slowly the bad luck is honing in. And they're getting caught with A, B, and C. Their lies are being seen. The masks are falling off. Whatever they're doing, it's all falling apart. And they're still not getting it. And I cannot warn them anymore. Like I said, I'm not going to. But I'm just letting you guys know. Because I've noticed that a lot of my friends, and these are all divine feminines, I mean, who are just amazing, doing the work, working on themselves, supporting each other, just loving on each other, and just doing what they have to do for themselves. They're staying in their own damn lane. They're not messing with anybody. And, you know, that's what the dark karmic does, though. The dark karmic messes with other people. The dark karmic gossips with other people. The dark karmic tries to get a bunch of people against the divine feminine. Hate her. Look at her. How dare she? You know, it's crazy. And here we have the divine feminines that are just like, who? What? Who's trying to do what? Like, we don't give a shit. We're too busy. We're too busy building our empire. We're too busy sharing our light, and we're too busy being healed from our past in order to help others do the same. That's our job, okay? So now we have these dark karmics. I mean, like I said, they're just going to keep doing what they're doing. But now everything's being seen. It's all, the light is being shed on everything. And literally, this dark karmic's like, if I'm going down, I'm taking everybody else down with me that was a part of this. And I am not going to be the only one looking like the bad guy. And I'm not apologizing to the divine feminine. She doesn't deserve apology. He doesn't deserve an apology. You know, it's just all ego. It's just ego. And, you know, literally, I see these people getting really sick. Sickness is a big thing. Because their aura is all a green to me. And that's not healing green. It looks like that murky, kind of sludgy black and green mix. That's what I'm seeing. It looks black and green. And it's like this fog, you know, like when you see Pigpen in the Charlie Brown cartoons, and every time he walks, it's like that dust thing. It's like that, and they're showing me all the karmics with their heads down, you know, like this, slugging around with their dark energy, hating on everybody, you know, hurting animals. I just heard animal sacrifice. So if they're doing spell work, they're doing blood ritual, animal sacrifice, or they're saying you're doing that because they're trying to paint you as this evil sorcerer witch person, which is hilarious. The thing is, what the karmics can't do is hurt your reputation, because the proof is in the pudding. The people who know you are going to be like, what? That's not our divine feminine. That's not who they are. No, you must be thinking of somebody else, because that's not who we know. And we've known this person for eons. And even the people who haven't known you that long just are like, no, definitely not that person. You must have the wrong energy, or are you sure it's not your energy? You're trying to mirror it onto them, or like they're seeing through. They're seeing through. No one's believing their lies anymore, or their bullshit. You know, like some people thrive on the gossip and that kind of stuff. Even these lower energies around this dark karmic are getting sick of hearing it. Like, they're just like, God, enough. Stop talking about the divine feminine. You're obsessed. Let it go. Obviously, nothing you're doing is working. But, I mean, I swear this karmic is just, like, obsessive, crazy. Like crazy. Oh, my God. Oh, it's so exhausting. So, every moon phase, when they do something, and the goddess, they're showing me the goddess coming in, like, looking down at this energy, and just taking, it almost looks, this is so crazy, and I don't know what this means, because they show me symbolism, but I'm seeing this great big goddess from the heavens coming down, reaching her arm, and almost taking like a light and erasing this energy. Now, I don't know what that means. It could mean a lot of things. It could mean like they just suddenly disappear, and they're off in another plane of existence that has nothing to do with where my divine feminines are. It could be that they're erasing anything that they're trying to do towards my divine feminines, all the negative acts, all those kind of things. It could be they're trying to erase their memory of the divine feminine so they can move on their merry way and probably attack somebody else. Whatever the case may be, it's blotting out that darkness, and then the goddess is just like holding up the divine feminine like this, like raising her up even higher. So she is untouchable. And that's what I keep seeing. That's going to be the case with this energy trying to do this. God, I got to get this fixed because I keep sliding. So, you guys, what I mean to say is that you guys are safe, but I really wish this karmic would stop it. I think they're just not getting, either they're willing to take the hits and they're not learning from the hits, and it's going to take like a really big hit like jail or sickness, or, you know, these are the kind of people, and I hate to say it, but these are the kind of people that make themselves so sick that they get like those kind of diseases that are incurable. And I'm getting like STDs and like and these are the things they wish for you. Like, they wanted this for my divine feminines. Oh, I hope she, like, and they didn't hesitate in saying it, you know, using these words of power through their ritual, you know, getting nasty, saying disgusting things. Not too long ago, when I told you guys about that zealot couple, she popped on to my live feed. I was doing live readings, and one of my other friends caught it, and she said, Carol, did you see what that woman just said? I was like, what? And it said something about drinking diarrhea or something. It was really juvenile and disgusting. And I was just like, and I knew it was her because it was Pink Panther. That's her name. And I was like, oh my God, you know, like, that's so weird. Like, why would anybody go out of their way? And supposedly this is a Christian, you know, a real religious person, you know. Yeah. So, just be careful, because I'm getting, it's not even, I don't know why Spirit just brought that up, because honestly, that was like 10 months ago. But maybe they brought it up because this person could be a religious zealot, and they don't like that you're spiritual. You may not even be a witch like me. Maybe you're just someone, maybe you're psychic like me, or maybe you do tarot cards, or maybe you're a Reiki practitioner, or you believe in all that stuff, and they just don't like it. So there's somebody around you who's against that way of practicing, or spiritual practice, or, and the thing is, you probably have a lot of clients, and you have people that rave about your work and who you are, and they hate that. Like, they're so angry and jealous about it. Like, it's like sick. They're just like, why are these people supporting this? And so you gotta, you know, understand where this is coming from. It's coming from lack of intelligence. It's coming from a tunnel vision about who they are and that everybody should be this way. Or it could just be just sheer jealousy. They hate their life. They hate their partner. They hate who they're with. They hate their job. You know, maybe they're just miserable in that respect. It doesn't matter. This is a miserable energy. And nothing's going to make them happy. Not even them trying to wipe you off the planet, which is not going to happen. If anything, they're going to wipe themselves off the damn planet, according to the great goddess who just smudged them out. So I can't say it enough when I just say that this dark, karmic, feminine energy is the main problem. And then she had her goons around her, but I'm seeing people slowly walking away, because they're showing me her in the center, and there's one man in front of her, and I believe that's her karmic partner. Or it could even be a divine masculine who's trying to get away from her, but is probably scared shit to do it. Doesn't have the balls because he's afraid of what the psycho's going to do. And I can't say I blame him, you know. But, you know, you have to protect yourself, and you got to leave if you're in that kind of toxic relationship. But then all of a sudden I see all these people leaving her circle. Like, one by one, they're just like, they're out. They're like, I'm not doing this. This is crazy shit. You're talking crazy. And she could have been like, you know, we got to do something about her, this divine feminine. We have to get rid of her. She could have said something like, I want to kill her. I wish she was dead. Like, whatever the case may be. And, you know, people, be careful who you say that in front of, Dark Karmic. Because I'm telling you right now, people are going to hear it, and someone's going to say something, and the only one who's going to be in prison is you. Whether it's in your own world or in literal prison, something bad's going to happen here if you keep this up. That's the only warning I can give to this dark karmic feminine. And as far as he's concerned, the fact that he's supporting her, he's just he's an accomplice almost. Spiritual accomplice. I don't care if you're afraid of your dark counterpart. You need to do something, you know? And the fact that he's not doing anything and he's allowing her psychosis to take over and slowly destroy everything around them is crazy to me. You need to do something. You know, people like that allow those things to happen are a bigger problem than the people who actually commit the act. If you're supporting this kind of energy, then you're going down just as much as they are in the spiritual world. You're going to get that karmic retribution back too, okay? Maybe in a different form, but you're still going to get it back. So, I mean, this couple is really disgusting. It's really grossing me out. And they're not learning, or she's definitely not learning. And he may even see the retribution or the karmic cycle slapping her back in the face, and she's just like, he's probably like, see what you're doing? It's hitting you back. You have to stop. And she's like, I'm not stopping nothing, because her ego's overriding everything. She can't see. All she sees is that the divine feminine is doing better than her, and she hates it. Looking better than her, and she hates it. Feeling better than her, and she hates it. Happier than her, and she hates it. There's nothing that can change this dark karmic's mind about my divine feminine. Nothing. And not even her partner, who is starting at this point to see, and starting to see how evil she really is. And that's going to be the icing on the cake if he leaves. Because even if he does leave and he survives this darkness, he has to heal past what the damage that's been done and that he has done with her. You know, he needs to find retribution through spirit and pray for God's forgiveness, because this is some fucked up shit. That's all I gotta say. Woo! Yeah, no good, man. Me no likey. Water break. Okay. Now that we discussed that. So guys, just so you know, every moon phase, doesn't matter. New, full, waning, waxing, dark, whatever. Eclipses, solar eclipse, lunar eclipse, they're going to utilize that energy. And you may even feel them doing that. It's not going to affect you. And don't let it affect what you decide to work on with your magic. You don't have to keep doing protection spells. I think, like, maybe last year or the year before that, it was good to do them. And you can do them once in a while if you're feeling a little eh. But for the most part, start doing spells geared towards the lifting up process, which is what's happening anyway. But I just feel like a lot of you are working on so many beautiful things. Whether it's traveling, new projects, new love. I see a lot of you getting new relationships. And just dealing with that shift and change, because that is a big change. You know, you're inviting someone into your energy. It seems to be going right. It seems to be going well. Don't self-sabotage. Don't do anything, you know, don't question it, because we have a tendency to do that as lights. We question the goodness that enters because we're so used to being attacked, you know. But I do feel like a lot of you, this is not going to be a long reading, guys, 45 minutes tops. I do feel like a lot of you are getting new relationships, new partnerships with work. And I feel like finances are really picking up. Like, financially, by the end of August, beginning September, I just see a lot of good money. It may even be money to the point where you can really make your dream come true, whatever that may be. Whether it's buying a new house, whether it's starting a new business, whether it's buying office space, or if you have a creative project, it could be just having to print that up and the cost of that. It's all going to be covered, so I don't want you guys to worry. And then on top of it, I just see love. I see it's all love. Family, your children are doing so much better. You know, if they were having a struggle, I feel like that's over now. The new energy is clicking and it's all good. And as far as love, if you are single and you're still having trouble, don't worry. It's okay. You date and just be careful, be safe. And, you know, I feel like you guys are being smarter about who you're dating. It's not just about, not that you guys just went by looks to begin with, but it's more like, yes, it's important to have an attraction, but I also want to give this person a chance, even if I don't have that initial attraction, because attraction can grow and love can grow. I do feel like there is someone from the past coming back for some of you. I don't know if any of you are going to revisit that. That's really entirely up to you and what the situation is. But I do feel like there is someone from the past that wants to come back. And then I also feel like there's someone who has a bit of a crush on some of my divine feminines, but they're not coming forward. I think they're afraid to. They shouldn't be, you know. You got to take that risk. If you're not taking a risk, what's the point, you know? Love is love. You got to try. So I do see that. I see that as well. A lot of my divine masculines are still working on themselves to catch up with the divine feminine. And in order for that to happen, there was this really good quote about that. I don't know if I still have it. I think I brought it up in the last reading, though. But it's something about who's healing and how they have to catch up, or that they will, because the divine is healed. And so the divine is almost showing them how beautiful it can be. And so they're living vicariously through my divine feminines right now. Let me see. Did you guys see that last video I posted? That was all because of the dark karmic, and I had to share that. So I went where I was talking about the dark karmic and what they're doing. About how they're our enemy kind of thing. And then it's shifted to the light side of us, how we're protected. So it's pretty funny. It's pretty on point, actually. I might have deleted it. I hope I didn't. I don't know if I did. Almost there. Hold on. Just hang in there. Oh, that was a good one. I like some of the stuff Hang in, almost there. There's a lot. I gotta delete these, I guess. I thought it was in this batch. I am supported by higher realms. Yes, you are, you guys. My divines are definitely supported. You guys have no idea how highly protected you are. They can't mess with you, you know? They're trying and trying and trying. And it's really sad, actually. It makes me sad for them. They're so lost. They're just so lost. And scared and angry. And if they would only work on themselves, it would be just fine. Alright, it doesn't look like I'm going to find it. But anyway, what I was getting was that it's more like the Divine Masculine sees how far the Divine Feminine has come, how much they've changed and grown, and how much they did the work. And so the Divine Masculine's like, I gotta catch up because that's who I want to be with. That's my person. They know that you're their person. I can tell you that much. I know that they know, but I also feel like they're not ready for you yet. The thing is, they're still healing, or they're in that process of healing. And so they don't want to come to you still a mess. They don't want to bring mess to the table. And that's nice, you know. Well, thank you. But you gotta, you know, TikTok. The Divine Feminines we're getting a little antsy, okay? So, but like I said, my singles, you're definitely going to be meeting someone, definitely I keep seeing December. So most of you, if not, you know, I'm not going to say all, because it's a process, you know. Timing means nothing. But I do feel like some of you are definitely meeting somebody by December, and that's your divine counterpart. And then it'll go to the next season, and it'll be like, okay, this season of Divine Feminines are going to meet there. But if you're a Divine Feminine that doesn't want to be with anybody, then that's fine too. You're all right. You keep doing your work. That's what I'm doing. I'm just doing my work. If someone happens to come along, if he happens to come along, then I'm open to dating. But I told you guys a gazillion times, I'm just going to focus on my work. We cannot waste time on frivolity. You know, I'm not going to date somebody just to get in the sack with somebody. If I'm going to be with someone, it's going to be a partner for life, and I want to spend the rest of my life with that person. So I'm not going to waste my time. Or, you know, and plus, you know, when you're a single parent too, you're not going to have that kind of shit around your kid. I don't do that. I've never done that. My son has never met unless it's like guy friends that when I had Halloween parties and stuff, my son would see friends like that, but never had I ever, you know, done that. Because that's just not right. Who does that? I think it's messed up. You can't be that mom, you know. But, you know, and I don't think any of you are. I think you guys are very protective of your kids. That's another thing that the Karmic tried to do. Try to mess with your kids. I don't want to bring up that couple again, but I swear to God, man. They really did a number. They tried to. They were just evil. They took my son in their camper, and then my son, I was like, where's my kid? And I said, don't ever... Neither one of us should bring our kids in our campers. That was the rule. At least that's the rule I said. And they were all playing outside, and all of a sudden I got quiet. And I don't know if I told you guys this story. And then I was like, where the hell is my kid? And thank God it was only a couple of minutes. The minute it got quiet, I knew, because I was outside doing whatever. And I was like, Brian. And then I heard them say, he's over here. And I was like, where is he? And they're like, oh, we're inside having lunch. I sent you a text. But the phones weren't working because of the hurricane. The service was like in and out. I was like, well, I didn't get a text. And you knew my rule about my kid being in your trailer, giving my kid. And then she's like, well, we felt bad because he wanted to hang out with us and he wanted lunch. I was like, we have food. And I was like, and he can come home and have lunch at my place. And you guys should not be having him in his trailer. She's like, I know. And she got nasty and started screaming at me. I was like, give me my son. And in the interim, my son's not coming out. I'm like, give me my kid. So when Brian finally came out, I was like, come on, let's go. I was like, what did I tell you? You can't go in there. He's like, I'm sorry, Mom. I just wanted to hang out with the kids. I was like, let them eat their lunch and then you can hang out with them after. And then I was like, what did they say to you in there? And then he told me what they said. And they were saying how I was evil, how because I'm a witch, I'm the devil. You know your mom's evil, right? That's what they were telling my kid. And I was pissed. But you know what, guys? I wasn't going to say anything. I was like, Brian, that's it. You can't go over there anymore. La, la, la. What was I going to say? You have to understand, it was during the hurricane. There was nobody around. And, you know, last thing we needed was a shootout at the campsite. Because everybody had weapons, you know? So I didn't want it to become one of those kind of situations. So I was like, you know what? I'm not going to say anything. I'm going to let it go. I brought my kid home. We were safe. And that was it. And then they left the next day, thank God. Oh, I thought it was so horrible. But that's when you're dealing with those kind of religious zealot people. They kind of press um, their agenda, their spiritual agenda on you and your friends and your family and your kids. I mean, my son was only 8 years old. How dare you? You know, it's just scary, very scary. No, my son doesn't think I'm evil. My son knows what I do for a living. My son sees all my reviews. He knows that I help a lot of people, and a lot of people are happy with my services. And we have our own prayer, and we have our own way of celebrating God and the goddess and Jesus. We believe in Jesus. We may not believe in the Jesus they believe in, but we believe in Jesus, or the Christ consciousness. It's a completely different version, okay? It's not the one that they believe in. So, it was just very upsetting. And these are the people, and the reason why I'm telling you this story is that I really feel like a lot of you are going to be under attack by those kind of people. If you don't share the same belief systems, and it doesn't have to be about religion, it could be anything. If you don't have the same belief systems as these people, they're going to attack you. They're going to force it upon you. If you don't go with them, or you don't see their view, they're going to get through your kids. They're going to get through your business. But, you know, this wasn't a normal situation. This woman she was loco, you know? It's crazy. So you guys have to be careful, okay? And watch out for those people. That's the darkness that I'm talking about. That's the vibe that I'm getting with this energy. And I just feel that, you know, all you could do is protect yourselves and protect your kids. And you just pray to God on high, because you're protected no matter what. They should not be doing that to anybody just because you have a different belief system. That's not being religious or spirit, you know. It's funny, missionary my ass. What, to spread hate? Because that's what you're doing, you know? To spread evil, you know, that's what you're doing. So those aren't real missionaries in my mind who would do that kind of thing. That's not doing God's work. That's spreading fear and hate. That's what that's doing. And we don't do that in my family. Me and my son don't do that. We accept all religions except when those people are attacking you and your belief system. I'll accept anybody who believes in whatever. I have a lot of Christian clients. A lot, actually. But they're not like that. Or they weren't like that, you know. There are a lot of beautiful Christians out there who are fully accepting of witchcraft and paganism and nature-based religion, spirituality, I should say, not religion, because we're not religion. And, you know, but you're going to get those zealots once in a while. And if you don't believe what they believe, I swear to God, they're going to pound it into you until you do. It's very scary out there. All right, so I do feel like everything is going to be okay. You are protected. And again, the attacks are very, like I said, it's going to just bounce back at them. All things are good from my divines. And the divine masculines are catching up. But like I said, it's almost weird. The goddess and God are showing me. It's so wonderful that their energy is here right now. So I'm kind of digging it. Because normally it's my spirit guide. But I'm seeing it's coming from a higher... not that my spirit guides aren't high. It's just, it's like, woof. So the energy is expanding. And they're showing me that they're coming in increments. It's weird. So I'm seeing by December, a slew of divine feminines and divine masculines are coming together. Right? And it's going by season. Winter, spring, summer, fall. So by winter, then by the next spring, then by the next fall, maybe, and even this fall, some people are going to meet their divine counterpart. But all the divines are coming together in 2026, 2027, probably up until 2028 is what I'm getting. Maybe even 2030. But I feel like that's when it's all connected. If you are looking for a divine counterpart. If you're not, then you're just doing the work singularly, and that's what you're meant to do, and that's fine. But I mean, for those who are looking for love, that's what Spirit's telling me. All right, so yeah, we're good. We're at 45 minutes. And sorry about that rant about that couple. It's just my whole life, like I've been, and I just have to say this real quick. I've been a practicing witch since I was 18. Okay, you do the math. So I'm not gonna do it. You do the math. But I've been a practicing witch since that age, and you know, I've been in covens. I've run a coven. It's just my belief system, and I love it. It's been the thing that brought me joy, happiness, understanding about my spiritual path, helped me to understand who I was as I grew into it. And I wouldn't change that for the world. I'm so grateful to the God and Goddess, the universe, for all those gifts and blessings that I have gotten through my journey, my spiritual journey. And so, but the thing is, I stuck with it, even though I knew there was so many people against it. It was way worse back when I was doing it. Today, at least they're a little more open to it. But even still, some are really not. They see it as pure devil, evil worship. We don't even believe in a devil. They're talking about Satanists. I'm not a Satanist. I'm not that. And I'm not even against Satanists. If that's their choice, that's their choice. Look, as long as it comes from a place of love and respect for other people, then it's all fine by me. But I gotta tell you, I've endured some really crazy stuff. That couple is not even the beginning. They're just, but you know what? They're probably the ends, because I'm not going to deal with that ever again. That was really messed up what happened. But I had people burn crosses on my lawn. I've had people try to attack me, not physically, but by screaming at me or yelling in my face. I've had people spread lies and rumors and gossip about me because of my faith. Just really messed up stuff. Like, not normal stuff. Just complete bullying. And that's what that was. You know, the last incident was, it was total bullying. Like, I was getting bullied. And I had to explain it to my son. And you know how hard that is to tell your child that, you know, you're getting bullied because of your belief system? You know, like how scary that is? But it was a good lesson for him. And now he knows better. That was a good lesson for him. He said he was scared when he was sitting in there. And the reason why I wasn't really fully worried, because there was another guy that was in there that I trusted who was working the camp. And he had been there for forever. And I was like, oh, thank God at least he was in there with him. And I was like, he wouldn't let them hurt my son or, you know, whatever. But I didn't know what happened until my son told me what was said. And he's like, Mom, I was just afraid. He's like, I just said yes to everything they said because they were in my face. And he's like, and I was getting scared. I was like, baby, I'm so sorry that you had to go through that. And literally, it was only maybe 3 to 5 minutes that he was in there. But that's a long time in kid time, you know, and in mommy time. To me, that's way too long. And I'm so glad that I got there when I did. But do I think they would have hurt him? No. But the words that they were saying were very hurtful. You know, the kids got along. That's the thing that's so amazing about children. They don't see religion. They don't see spirituality. They just see another kid and they're like, God, I really like this kid. I want to play with this kid. And the kids played the whole time. And that's what makes me sad about the whole thing. It's like your kids and my kids, your kids and my son got along great. And they had to ruin it because they were so against what I do. Fine. It doesn't matter. I've forgiven them in my heart, but I'm really sad that it had to happen. And I'm really sad that they made my son a part of it. And to this day, I always tell Brian, look, baby, you know, you're not evil. Your mommy isn't evil. What the work I do helps so many people. And I show him my reviews and I make sure he's aware. And he hears me on the phone when I talk to clients. You know, he's like, oh, that was so nice, Mommy, how you helped that person. So he knows. And so when someone tells him that his mommy is evil, it hurts. He's so sad about it. He's like, why would people say that? I was like, because, babe, I was like, they're very religious and they have this idea about what mommy does. And that's just how some people are, you know, and we had this long talk about it. And by the end of it, we were hugging each other and he was crying and I was like, it's going to be okay. You know, it's not an easy thing. You know, it's very scary how people are about their beliefs. So anyway, I just had to say that it's not going to deter me from what I do. I will never stop doing what I'm doing. Like I said, I've been doing this since I was 18. So how long is that now? I'm going to do the math and I suck at math. 34. Well, I've been psychic longer because I was psychic since I was little. But so the witchcraft stuff is a little over 34 years. Unless I did the math wrong. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You have to stay true to your authenticity. You have to be your authentic self. And sometimes that's dealing with people who don't like it. That don't like you for doing that. And want to make you be like them and follow the herd and be like the sheep. You know, you can't do that. One of the key components about the reading yesterday, well, not the reading, just the information I was getting from Spirit, was a sheep in wolf's clothing. And so I want you guys to be careful because the masks are still falling off. And your intuition will guide you on who is someone you can trust and who isn't. And sometimes we just come across, you know, if you're an empath and you're like me, you give everybody a chance. You know, you might get a vibe or something, but then you're just like, you know, maybe they're just A, B, and C. But I think now it's time, like the radar is really, really up with us, and we're just not having it. So our boundaries are really up. Our protection's really up. Everything is guarding and protecting us so that we can do our work and meet our divine counterpart. And no one and nothing, dark, karmic, or otherwise, is going to stop that from happening. Okay? So I love you guys, and it's going to be okay, and we got this, and you just keep doing your work. You don't let those, you know, zealots stop you, or those naysayers, or family members who are against what you're doing. You just keep doing you. You know, they need to find another occupation than trying to watch what you're doing all the time. That's the other problem. I think they're either bored or they have no life mission or purpose. Maybe they don't feel like they have a purpose, and because you do, they hate that. Who knows? I'm so sick of dissecting these dark karmics that are just hell-bent on destroying my lights and my divine feminines and masculines. Fuck them, right? Okay. All right, that's it. So you are blessed. I love you guys so much. Take care. Please leave comments, and if you have any questions, absolutely go ahead and leave whatever you want. I'll try and respond, okay? And then also, I've been getting emails with questions about, like, me and my psychic ability and the witchcraft and stuff like that. I think I'm going to do a video just answering those questions. I've been writing them down. They're from random clients and people, and so I may just, it's like a self-interview, I guess, but I mean, obviously not. These people are asking me these questions, so I want to answer them. I'm going to maybe do that after the full moon, okay? All right, I love you guys. Bye.